Hey, what is up? What's going on? Falcone here, checking in. Another blog post. This is an important one, and I am going to be dead serious about what I'm talking about here. And this has to do with you improving your prospecting skills. Oftentimes, you hear me talk about, if you've been a student of mine, that is, and followed me for any period of time, conducting self-checks or self-evaluations, and they really involve two different things. Number one, there's two kinds, qualitative and quantitative. Qualitative meaning the quality of your calls, the quality of your your prospecting calls, the quality of your presentations. How good are you? How good do you sound in comparison to other people that might be really, really good? That's one side of it. The other thing is the quantitative side. In other words, the numbers. What kind of numbers are you actually doing? Tracking yourself, tracking the numbers of dials, the number of contacts, numbers of presentations that you're doing. Obviously, those are both really important things, but the thing I want to talk to you about today is really, really important, and that's about conducting self-checks. And it's kind of like figuratively running into the bathroom and looking in the mirror and saying, how am I doing today? How am I doing? Am I doing okay? Am I really in the game? Would I hire me? I mean, those are the kinds of things that you want to be doing to know that you're on track to, achieving a successful income in network marketing. One of the things that I teach a lot of people to do, and especially when I'm dealing with one-on-one coaching clients, is I have them record their calls and record their actual prospecting calls or follow-up calls, have them record themselves leaving voicemail messages. And then when I do the coaching, I'm able to listen to those calls and then give them some direct feedback on how they sound. Wait a minute, back up the tape or back up the recording. Let's listen to that again, and we'll figure out why the prospect tuned out or tuned in or whatever the case might be. The other side of that is that if you record your calls, a cross-section of your calls every week, and then you listen back to them, you can pick up on certain things that you're doing. Like, for example, if you're making phone calls, it's really hard to listen to what you're saying when you're actually saying it. You can't really do a good job of reviewing how good you sound while you're doing it, because if you're doing it, your mind's going to be going, am I reviewing? You can't even think. So that's why you want to record your dials. You want to record your prospecting calls. You record your follow-up calls. Record your any kind of call that you might be making. You want to record a cross-section of those so that you can, number one, for yourself, listen back to them. You're going to pick up on some things. Like, for example, you make calls and every other word is and 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 like and like and You're never going to really know that you're doing that unless you record yourself and then listen to yourself back. And the first step towards change is awareness. And it's really hard to be aware when you don't record yourself. For example, when I was in speech class years ago, I sucked on stage. I was scared to death. I had to sell a pencil or talk about a pencil for like 60 seconds, and they put me on video. And it was a really enlightening thing because almost every other word was and like and this pen is like yellow, and well, in this case it's blue, and and after having listened to that, I was able to begin to initiate change. So if you want to improve your prospecting skills, one of the best things that you can do is record yourself so you can figure out how good you sound and you can work on improving that. Now, the reason I'm doing this video today is I have a fairly elaborate setup in my office that, the average person is probably not going to do. It involves buying a piece of equipment that's, $275 and then a piece of software that's, I don't know, $300 or whatever it costs. And the average person can't do that. Well, I have a friend of mine, Brian Cook, who is one of my most recent A-Team winners. It was at my house. We were talking, and he let me know about how he, because I've got a recording setup, a digital recording setup that cost me like $50. So what I did in this particular blog post, you're going to see below, there's another video. That's the video with Brian. He explains the recording setup, and there's also a couple of links here down below that you'll see that you can use to get this whole setup. It's real cheap. You get this piece of equipment from Radio Shack that's like $20 or whatever, and you get this recording software. You put it in your computer, you hook it up. He even shows you how to hook it up to your phone. So it's really, really easy. So now there's no excuse for not recording a cross-section of your dials and working and doing that to improve your personal prospecting skills. So pay attention to that. Take advantage of this tip. Use it. and start doing that, because you will see better results in your prospecting if you take the time to record yourself and, most importantly, listen back. We'll see you on another blog post. Thanks for listening.